All right, beautiful humans, welcome back to another episode of the I Like Birds podcast. Once again, we're outside. We've been outside a lot lately. If it's a beautiful day, we're trying to enjoy it because we haven't had consistent beautiful days here in Texas for quite some time. It's been very cold, especially at nighttime, especially when you're living in an RV. The floor gets a little chilly. You step outside to use the restroom and But enough about that. Yeah, man. Speaking of which, the last few I've done outside away from the podcast mic has actually been under a tree. And we're under a tree again, but we're also beside the RV. So that's kind of a new switch up for us. And as far as location goes, it's cool to be able to be mobile with you guys. So thank you for still tuning in and enjoying these episodes and actually showing a lot of love about them. In regards of it just being a switch up, and it's fresh, and it's real, and it's a risk that has paid off so far. There's been a lot of great receptions on the Stuck in Africa episode when I was under a tree in Africa. A lot of good reception on the Happy Birthday Armani episode that we did a few weeks ago, where we had 4 stop and goes because it was in the middle of Malachi's nap time, and I was dealing with the new dogs that we got. And Malachi woke up. The dogs ran inside the RV for the first time while I was live on the podcast. Like, it's crazy. So I've enjoyed these, and also I got a great idea for them as well in the future. So I'll just kind of share it with you guys because y'all will be here for quite some time, I feel like, throughout this ministry. My wife has a business that she started before we went on the RV journey called Under the Cedar Trees. Under the Cedar Trees. You may have seen it. It's basically where she sells essential oils, homemade candles, all natural stuff, bottles for, cleaning products. She's even dabbled in some homemade laundry detergent that is toxic free. She's all about the all natural way of living for her body and her products and the stuff that we're putting on our skins and faces and everything else like that. So it's been really cool to see her interest in that over the last couple of years, and she was really, taking off with it before we went on the RV journey. We thought we could, do the business on the road, but when you're in an RV and all your stuff is packed below your couch, you kind of don't really want to be promoting selling some products because you don't know where our post office is. Anyway, you guys get the point. So we got a lot of our business stuff in storage, and we're going to start that back up this year once we're in a comfortable place in our house, and baby Zeke is here and everything like that. So with that being said, you'll be seeing Under the Cedar Trees a little bit more so in the future. And also, I'm just going to incorporate recording the podcast under the tree. And when I do that, it's going to be a show that's kind of like, that's the sponsor, is Under the Cedar Trees. Kind of just share the newest product with you guys, give you a promo code or something like that to get you to support, support the ministry and support the wife's, business endeavors that she's got going on. If you love the family of Zach Rippey, right? What's funny is I've been listening to this guy on YouTube refer to himself in third person, and for some reason it makes me do it too. So I apologize because I do know sometimes it sounds so conceited when people do that, and it's kind of cringeworthy sometimes. But then again, it's your name. Have pride in your name. Be grateful that your name is what your name is. Your name represents a lot about you, and it just really. Ooh, this is actually cool. Sorry, I just noticed this. Squirrel. But on the recording app it says add flag, so if I wanted to add a little flag during this recording to go back and be like, hey, I messed that part up, let me re-record it or add this part, I can. It's pretty cool, right? Anyway, so yeah, man, your name is strong. That's basically what I was getting at. Don't feel embarrassed about that. I think it's just good that we're open and feel comfortable enough with you guys as a listener base, audience base, and just always just trying to keep it real with you guys to be like, all right, well, you guys said the audio sounds pretty good. It's not the greatest audio in the world, but it's doable. And so therefore it's like, all right, let's come out here and just start recording podcasts as well. So, and then when we're out on the land, our house situation where it's just beautiful, the huge, I'm telling you, you guys are going to be blown away when I start making some videos out there, especially when it starts blooming out there of where we're about to be living on and where we're about to be moving to. As soon as we get some electricity on our land. Oh, the wind is coming through. The leaves are coming. Oh, snap. Dude. Jeez Louise. And you guys get to experience that on real time. Oh, I'm telling you, it was like a little mini tornado of leaves just came through and just mollywopped me, dude. Even the dogs out here are like shook right now. Birdie, you good? All right. Oh, man. So, yeah, man, I was just talking about how much I liked it, and look what the Lord did. He just sent a gust of wind and a couple of birds flying by to confirm it. Ooh, I don't know about you guys, but that's how I be feeling sometimes out here. You know? God knows when we're talking about him. I'm telling you. He bends down his ear to listen. It says that in Malachi 3:15, I believe. If you ever want to go check it out. He cares about what we have to say about him. And that's why I love doing these podcasts with you guys so much, because I be thinking about this stuff all day, and I just be talking to God, talking to Jesus, going through the storms and being like, God, what are you doing in this season right now? What is going on here? And then I decided to come share it with you guys, and that's, I don't know, I feel like that's what it's all about. If I had more people in my circle, my everyday circle, I'd be sharing it with them. And I luckily I get to do that with my people and stuff like that. But I don't know. God gave me the blessings of starting this podcast and seeing where we're at now, and the people that show love and listen and just support. Man, it's a huge honor to have you guys, man. Seriously. So with that being said, man, appreciate you guys being with me today. The thing I wanted to talk about was kind of related to the last episode about doors being open, doors, not knowing which direction to go towards. And sometimes you're not even supposed to go through a door. Sometimes you're stuck in the hallway, right? And the door is open, or is going to be fully open for you to enter very soon. But you're over here just waiting in the Lord's waiting room. Like I just picture, like in the hospital waiting to see like, are they good or are they not good? Like in the waiting room, stressing, and that's how I am right now with life. I'm in the waiting room. My family's in the waiting room, and it's not a fun place to be, guys. I'm telling you, not a good place to be. Difficult one. I don't know if you guys have been there, done that, experienced that, but dang, this is it's heavy, man, in a way that we're waiting for. First and foremost, I think I shared a little bit with you guys on the last one when we were outside, the Happy Birthday Armani episode, where I was talking about Catherine's platelets. And, we've been praying through that for the last 2 pregnancies now, and it seems like it's a lingering thing that keeps getting brought up, that is something that we've had to deal with throughout these last couple pregnancies. And this time it's a little bit more serious because we're trying our best to avoid going to the hospital this time, when last time we had to switch our entire birth plan, wasted like a good chunk of money, and had to go to the hospital and pay a good chunk of money to have Malachi. And we don't want that again. It wasn't a pleasant experience, not just on the financial side, but just on the whole hospital vibe. Y'all know me, dog. I'm basically an enemy of the state and an enemy of, to the enemy of the healthcare community with what I do not put in my body that they tell me on CNN and everywhere to put it, right? Anyway. So we got some good news. They went up. And then we got some bad news. They went down. And then we got some more bad news. They went down again. And this is in light of her having to go to appointments all the way from where we live in Mansfield to Dallas, which is about a 55-minute drive, twice a week. And then she has to go to a couple other appointments. She has to go get weekly blood drawn, midwives, chiropractor, a lot of stuff right now where she's having to leave the house a lot. And we're not used to that as a family. She's been a stay-at-home mom for quite some time. I've always been the one that's out working, making moves, doing school, just, doing some man stuff, providing out here, slaying, just slaying dragons, basically, chopping wood, throwing it in the fire, hunting game, feeding the family with a deer on my shoulders, cooking, throwing down in the kitchen. Don't worry, I got the dishes tonight. I'll get the laundry too, babe. You chill there. I'm just kidding about the laundry part, but nah, man. So we're just having this big adjustment in life right now. It makes you feel like, even when you're going through, financial hardships, it makes you feel like it's really out of your control. Because even if you wanted to go get a job, you really couldn't right now, which is the truth, guys. I really couldn't. So as much as I, say like, oh, I'm even your boy like might want to get a job again after this season. You know what I mean? I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, I might go back to Outback Steakhouse. I love the food. I love the atmosphere there. I loved working there. So maybe I'll go work there a few days a week. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that if I decide to do that. Do I feel like, God would take me this far just for, to take a few steps back? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know what God's doing right now. I'll tell you that. Okay? Sometimes I feel like I know what he's up to. This time, I don't know what he's up to. All right? There's just been this long, drawn-out waiting season. And it's been tough. It's been like wrestling with God. And I was telling Olivia this before I jumped on the pod, is that I feel for the first time ever, and it was a short-lived experience, but for the first time ever, I was kind of angry with God. I was kind of like, I was impatient. I was just feeling like, so like, what the heck is going on? Confused and just kind of angry, honestly, angry. That's the good word. I was angry with God, and I hated that, and it made me really like take a step back and be like, all right, just got to surrender it. And if it's God's will to not have that baby in the house, we won't have the baby in the house, and if it's not God's will to have the baby at home, in a comfortable situation, in a place that's ideal for my wife and I, then that's his will too, and that's when you just surrender it. That's what you're called to do, and we fight it, we strong arm it all the time. And it's I think, hey, it's a bird, relax. What are you guys doing over there? It's a duck. So you see, I got to talk to these dogs out here. It's hope you guys enjoy that. Try to keep it short and sweet with you guys, just so you guys know what's going on. But yeah, man, we just got to surrender that, and it's hard to surrender it, especially when, you feel like you're taking, you're doing the works behind your faith. You're like, yeah, God, I'm trusting you to do this, but you've given me the resources to go get a specialist to do vitamin C drops for Catherine on twice a week in Dallas. You've given the resources of a midwife that, has recommended great supplements and great things to lift them up naturally without, having to do steroids or something like of that nature, right? Which is terrible for the baby and stuff. So, not to get too medical on you guys and stuff. And that's the thing. I don't like talking medical stuff. It's been a rough couple years. Even just thinking about Armani in the hospital and only getting one visitor per day because of COVID, when COVID's been a complete joke and a lie. That and that makes me angry at the whole medical system and them just pushing things on you that they didn't even research themselves. Like, oh my gosh, it's gross what's been happening in that field. And praise God, I know some amazing people that have lifted my spirits in the medical realm. My buddy Olivier, my sister-in-law Lauren is a nurse, and they've really just, been like, I got a couple other people in my life as well that just been speaking like, all right, it's not all this, it's not all that. And it's like, I understand that, which is great, but from my experience already, it's just been ugly, So, and then when we had Malachi there, I had Noah at the hospital, and that was a bad experience. Yeah, I don't even want to get into it any further than that. But anyway, guys. So yeah, the waiting room. If you've been there, you know how it is. It's not a good season, so of course, pray for your boy. Try to keep the faith, of course. We got electricity company that's taking forever to come out to the property. They said it'd take 7 to 10 days, and it's been 13 days so far. And that's just, yeah, anyway, I think I already said that, but I just almost can't believe it with how it's almost like we worked. And that's the thing, I was angry with God because I felt like we've worked so hard to get into this house. I've called so many people. I've emailed so many people. I've written checks for people. It's just been one thing after another, nonstop of, man, having to come up with things that I don't even know what that is. And you're asking me, I need 4 of them. I need the documents, all this stuff. I have to go to tax offices. Oh my Lord, it's been such a journey. And I was okay with the journey because I was fighting to get us in the house before the baby comes. And we're 2.5 weeks away, and God's got to come through in the last quarter, in the final minute of the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Or he's got to give us some overtime. Zeke come like a week late. You know what I mean? And let the platelets go up, and Zeke come a week late. And that's the thing. Sometimes we're just kind of like, all right, the platelets are, a little bit over 70, so maybe we should, God, you ready to let us have the baby now so we don't have to go to the hospital? So, I just hate thinking that way. I hate stressing that way, and my wife and I don't like it either. So this is a very, personal episode to you guys, but it just kind of shows that where we're at right now. We're in the waiting room, man, and it just feels heavy. It's a spiritual battle for sure, a test of faith for sure. I hope it builds my character and my growth and my transformation and my molding of Christ from this point on. After this next season, I hope I appreciate the blessing so much more, and I know I will. I believe I will, and maybe it's just expanding from here. It's ballooning into a place of. That's how I get them to come. See, here they are. This is Murphy. I know you can't see, but just imagine. This is Russell, and that's Birdie. I got Russ, favorite artist. I got Birdie for I like birds, and Murphy because Captain liked the name Murphy. From a show she watches. I don't know what show it is, but anyway. Yeah, man. So that's about it. Just kind of want to get you guys on that note, just realizing where we're at. Just the pod might be, I don't know if it's going to be delayed or we're just going to keep doing more of these, but the ministry's still going strong. I truly believe this is going to be a huge moment for the future of the show. God has put so much things on my mind and my heart about ministry and about what he wants this life that I'm living to do for his glory. I said that kind of weird, but I can totally see, like God wants every single part of my life, honestly, to be a testimony to his goodness. And that's what it's going to be, so I know the end result is going to be a testimony for him, for his goodness. And I'm just impatiently waiting for it, impatiently waiting. We have a beautiful blessing of a baby coming, and we have a beautiful blessing of a house coming. Like, what's better than that? Nothing, zero. And that's why it's, it's hard to have the fruit of the spirit of patience and trust. And, it's always hard to surrender that when you want something to happen versus when God wants something to happen. And we have to. Even when we don't want to. And trust me, guys, I don't want to. My flesh doesn't want to. My flesh wants to be angry and just like, bitter, almost like grouchy, complaining, griping, and I hate feeling that way. It's not a good place to be in. It's not peace. It's not stability. It's not joy. It's not any of the fruits of the spirit. It's the opposite one. It's the fruits of the flesh. So yeah, man, battling through that. I think you guys have kind of already understood that this show is very naked Christianity, where it's like, no, I don't have it all together. I'm still working on things in my life like forgiveness and patience and kindness with my words and all those things. There's so many things that are a constant breaking down to build back up, a constant surrendering and picking up the cross and surrendering it and walking daily, Sanctification is a process, all right? And your boy's been working on the book. I just want to say that. I've been still working on it, been editing it. I sent a couple chapters out to some friends and people that, I feel like would read it. So that's been cool. I got a couple people already, showing some love on it, which is great. I'm adding some different parts that I kind of, once you go through you write the book when you edit it. Like I got the base, I got the steak. Now I'm just, getting a little potato, a little broccoli, a little bread with some butter, buttering it up real nice for you guys. So do me a solid, man. Get the book. All right, I'll get the book when I see other people. Get the book. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be eye-opening for you guys to see what Africa's all about, but also not just Africa, Jesus. Like see what he's doing up there. See what he's doing in the lives of people that aren't just obsessed with our cell phones, entertainment, distractions, money, all this stuff. They like money too, but they just don't have any. You know what I mean? Big difference. So. Yeah, man, it's opened my eyes a lot, but also it's made me realize that I got a lot more change that needs to happen in my own life before I can feel confident as a full representation of Christ. You know what I mean? I ain't there yet. You know, your boy's working and walking and evolving. All right. I'm never trying to tell you about Zach Rippey. I'm only trying to tell you about Jesus and what he's doing on my life. And some of that sometimes is the ugly, you know, and that's what we sometimes represent on this show. The ugly side of the Christian, you know. But this is real though, because I was talking to Sharon yesterday. Y'all know Sharon. Y'all really liked her episode. That one has like almost 200 listens. It's called The Real Church, if you want to go check that one out. She got super real on there. And so did we both did. We just had a great convo. But anyway, I was talking to her. I was just like, man, she was like, man, you're just going through this battle. You know, you're in it. You know, God chose you to like go through this, you know, and she was encouraging me that like God chooses like the leaders to go through this and stuff like that. And then, you know, I just kind of looked at her and I said, it's so hard. Like, why couldn't I just find Christ on my deathbed? You know what I mean? And that's just she was like, wow, that's a real statement. Like, that's how you know you're really walking. You know, it's because that's the real life of a Christian. You know, it's not easy. Jesus himself doesn't ever say it's going to be easy. He tells you to expect persecution. The world will hate you because it first hated me. You know, we are, as I just heard on Olivier's Sowing the Seed podcast, we are the visiting team. We are on the visiting team here on earth, all right? We're the road team, all right? So we got to realize that, and we got to still be salt and light even when we don't want to, bro, because we're called to. And we got to keep that faith even on days where you're angry with God. And it's crazy. I identified that I was angry with God, and I was like, okay, like that's a big step. You know, how many people haven't actually realized that yet? How many people are still walking around here, you know, like going to church but are angry with God, or say that they're a Christian but they're angry with God, or don't turn to Christ because they're angry with God, or man, there's so many examples where anger with God is a real thing, you know, but also a lot of that anger is actually anger at the enemy, the God of this world, you know, so don't get them twisted, baby. God of the Bible got you. The enemy, though, the one that's here, you know, putting all these speed bumps and obstacles and all that in your way, that's the enemy, baby. That's the enemy. That's somebody that's trying to get you off the path of walking with the Lord. You know, that's something that something that's going to make you, you know, you don't want to live in that anger with God, you know, and it was short-lived for me, but I felt it into a point where I needed to kind of take a walk. Oh, tell me how this, I'll tell you this little thing. All right, I'm already going long. Sorry, guys. Trying to keep it under 30 minutes today. I walked away, you know, after I felt that way, and I walked up to, because we were out at our house today, and we just had what's it called, skirting put on, which is basically like under panel for the house. It looks beautiful, by the way, guys. Can't wait to show it to you when everything's finished and stuff. But we're walking up the road to where one of the ponds is, the big pond on the property, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking out there, and I just knew I would feel good when I like went and looked at that pond, you know, and I was hearing nothing but birds, guys. It was like a bird sanctuary, and that's when I knew, like, wow, I was angry with God for a minute, and I came up here and I no longer am angry with God, you know, like in a way where it was like almost like the reversal, you know, and that's what God is. I just read this last night too in Luke. God is the God of reversal, you know. That's not like a Luke verse, but it was like a little side note in my Tony Evans study Bible, where it's like he takes you from graves and he turns a grave into a garden. You know, shouldn't have to explain that, but you know, he takes Jesus and he brings him in, and he's ascended into the sky, and he's on the right hand of God. You know, so many examples of God reversing stuff. You know, big time. You know, the other example which I really liked was my gosh, I'm forgetting the name right now, but Joseph. So he took Joseph from slavery to the palace, you know, and like if you think about that, like, whoa, that's big time, you know, and that's where we're at. We can feel like we're going through hell, and he's going to give you that heaven, you know, and that's what we're doing here, guys. It's all a battle for your souls, you know, which team you going to choose, which God are you going to pursue and seek and take rest in, you know. And so yeah, man, it was a powerful day. Another one to share with you guys, you know, a couple moments here and there that are worth getting behind the mic for. And I hope you guys appreciate these episodes just because they're very real and very honest and very vulnerable and open. And I like sharing these things with you guys because I do feel as if it helps you. And I do feel like it lifts you up in your own faith. And I do feel like we're called, at least me personally, I do feel like we're all called. It says in the Word to, you know, point people to Jesus. And that's what I try to do on this show through my circumstances, even when they're not going my way. You know, I come on here and I tell you guys victories, but I also tell you guys the L's. And I think that's what separates this show from other shows, or this show from the church, you know. And your boy graduates soon, and I'm over here thinking like, yo, am I even going to end up at a church? You know, like, who knows what God has in store for me? You know, God's been shaking things up left and right, where it's like, all right, let go of your expectations of what you think is going to happen. You know, like, you know, you're doing the work, you're going to graduate, and then let God just take you where he wants you to go, you know, whether that be, you know, writing for more speeches, writing more books, writing more, whatever, podcast scripts for people. You know, if that's still like what he has in store for me, that's what he has in store for me. And if he wants me, you know, go, you know, speak at churches and promote the book, hey, I won't be mad at that either. Go on other pods, I don't know, you know, like a little weekend out once a month, that might be nice. Your boy did like to travel. You know, but just kind of talking to you guys about it, because that's another thing. I'm in the waiting room to graduate too, you know, and then it's like, then what? What's my career look like? Am I in this, you know, financial situation that I'm in right now, where it feels, you know, like peaks and valleys? I don't know. We'll see. But that's one of the beautiful things, man. Assets are the best thing in your life when they involve freedom and time. So I'm really leaning into that. I have those two things. We're not, you know, destitute. You know, we're just making big moves to make an adult decision, and that's a little scary at times, and that comes with responsibilities that are new and challenging. But like I said on the last episode, Jehovah Jireh, he is our provider. He's got us with our money, he's got us with our families, he's got us with our health, he's got us with our future, he's got us with our career, he's got us with our intellect, he's got us with our wisdom, he's got us with so many things, God. We just have to give it to him. We have to surrender it to him. We have to trust him. We have to be okay with being in the waiting room and realize that even though we're impatient, we know that God got us on the other side. All right, he's got that door ready to be swung open, and he's ready to push us through it whenever he's ready for you to have that door open, right? Maybe right now there's a lot more things that have to shake out within your boy. Maybe it's the book being finished. Maybe it's just, you know, my own just, you know, him sculpting me down, you know, to build me back up into a way that is more representative of his son, Jesus Christ. So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens. But I appreciate your encouragement and just, you know, giving me your ears and hearts every week like you do. And my brother Olivier just dropped the podcast, Sowing the Seed, and it's been really inspiring to hear him on there just, you know, profess his love for Jesus and talk about it in a way that's different than myself and just new and transcendent, and breaking the sound waves already with his voice and just with who he is and what he represents for people that are in his circle of influence, you know. And the same with my brother-in-law Tyler, to just see him lean in and do something like that. It's been very awesome, to say the least, and just shows the power of influence that Jesus can have through you, you know. And we're a little deep on this pod, you know. We're over 100 episodes deep, so if you listen to more than 10, you got kind of a good grip on who Christ is and what he's doing in my life, you know. So our lives are living testimonies, and let's not shy away from that. You know, you've got your own testimony, you got your own walks and battles and storms and testimonies and miracles and goodness and ways that you can glorify the Lord too. So make sure you always realize that and lean into that in this next season of life, guys. So I love you guys. I appreciate you listening. As always, do me a favor, share the podcast, man. When you're out and about and just talking to people about anything, man, just find a way to bring up the show, bring up Christ, and then talk about the show. You know, it's like it could be an awesome opportunity to do both, especially, you know, with people that you already talk about Jesus with. You know, give them the podcast. I'm trying to grow the show more, guys. You guys already know I'm trying to drop the book and have, you know, a really good support on that right away, so that it can open up other doors, guys, and just open up the hearts and minds of people to seeing the love of Christ and just what Jesus is doing in Africa, and even helping out the Subi Project, man. That's a big thing that's on my heart as well, because I want to do more for them. I feel like I want to do more for them. So it's like, how can I do more for them that is, you know, using some of my assets, which are time and the gifts that God gave me to glorify what what God's doing over there through the Subi Project. So again, much love to you guys. I wanted to keep this under 30 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up. And yeah, man, God's got us even in the waiting room. See ya.